What's up, comic fans? This is the officially unofficial geek channel, Spoilertastic weekly comic review. My name is Carrie Quinn, and this is what I thought of the comics this week. Okay, but anyway, before we get into that, let's go ahead and do a little housekeeping here. We are doing the Road to 250 giveaway. Please enter the giveaway if you are no longer, or if you are no longer, wow. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please put a like and a comment on this video once you're subscribed, and you'll be entered. Also, you can enter this giveaway by sharing my content and tagging me on social media to show me that you've shared my content. I have had somebody do this already. Thank you very much. This was pretty awesome to see someone share my content. It was really cool. Um, but obviously, if that is not something you can do, then a simple subscribe, like, and share, or like and comment, more like, will do quite nicely. Thank you very much. What are we giving away? Well, we're giving away right now, the main part of the prize is a facsimile foil cover edition of The Amazing Spider-Man number 252 that came out recently. We're going to give that away, the facsimile foil cover of that one. And we are also giving away a pretty okay, I would say I am no expert in grading, but I would say it's probably at least a 7.0. Um, First appearance of Amanda Waller from the Legends comic book number one from 1986, I believe. And just whatever else I can throw in. I've already started throwing some stuff in. So um, all you have to do is do the things I mentioned. If you need to be refreshed on that, they're down below in the description of this video, along with any other information pertaining to the video or, just stuff in general. Anything, helps the channel. So what I'm going to do is we have a lot of books to go through today. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to use this. I think it's particularly the best format, the best, circumstances to try and do a little bit of a different way of going about doing the reviews. I'm trying to trim the time on the reviews as much as possible to kind of entice more people to tune in and check out my reviews. So I want to kind of keep everything to a minimum of just a couple sentences on each of these books until we get to my top three books of the week. Then I'll go a little bit more in depth with the books and, get maybe a little bit saucier about the books. So, anyways, let's get into this. Let's dive right in with, like I said, this is most of these books are just a couple sentences on each of them until we get to my top three. Then we will let all hell break loose on those. But also, as we mentioned earlier when we introduced the show, this is a spoiler-tastic video, which means that there will be some spoilers probably hidden throughout the whole entire video. I try to keep the spoilers down to a minimum, but sometimes, a spoiler gets out and that's what happens. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Nothing to it but to do it with Green Lantern number 8. Let's get started. Green Lantern number 8. This is Adams, Newfoundpaul, and Fajara Jr. I have interesting viewpoint involving what's going on here and how it might relate to the resurgence of the Alan Scott Green Lantern. And it seems like this issue is bringing me even it's making me even more solid in my viewpoint of what's going on here involving the red spirit, the red wave, the red whatever, in the spirit of the Green Lantern. Excuse me, I had to move something. In the spirit of the Green Lantern. So, Obviously, this is a really good book. I'm really enjoying it. I've kept up with this one, 8 issues. So moving on. Next one we want to talk about is Red Hood the Hill #1. That is Martin Burrow, Green, and Herms. This is actually a pretty solid book. I thought I was going to be really, um, I was really going to be behind, but I wasn't. The only thing that I really have to say about this book is that it feels like by doing what we do, it takes a step back too far into the past. And I was really kind of interested if we got a Red Hood tale. I was really more interested in hearing about what happened post Gotham War. Because if you read Gotham War, you know some pretty gnarly stuff happened to Jason Todd in that, and I'm kind of interested, to see actually that story rather than taking such a step back. But for being a step back, pretty good book. The Deviant by James Tinian IV, Hickson, and Oatsman Alejo. Um, this is really good, except for the fact that the only reason why I feel kind of um, off about it is, despite the fact that it's good, creepy fun, um, I'm kind of done with stuff involving Santa. And yeah, this is involving a Santa killer. And if you've been reading The Deviant, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, but I will say it is um, the information and the, oh my God, is he what I think he is, kind of thought that keeps me going in this, actually. So all in all, despite the fact that I feel like it should have been released probably a little bit earlier than it was, it's actually not bad. Let's talk about Wesley Dodd's The Sandman. Wesley Dodd, The Sandman, #5, Venditti, Rossimo, and Placentica. This is a pretty gosh darn good book. We have this pretty solid storyline moving along, but kind of at a slower pace than I really would like it to. It can, I wonder if it can speed up and still have the appeal that it has. Kind of move it along a little bit. But the art in here, I just love Riley Rossmo's art when it comes to a title like this. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's talk about Batman and Robin #6. Um, Damien was on the money about Victor Zsasz and this character Zach, except for, we're still trying to figure out exactly if the principal is what Damien thinks she is. And I don't know. To me, it feels like that the storyline involving like what they're trying to figure out is taking second stage to um, strengthening and processing the relationship between Bruce Batman and Damian Robin, which is just fine by me. And we have an extra special little guest appearance at the end, and a little bit of a fun little cliffhanger. Extra special guest appearance from Flatline. If you've been missing Flatline, pick this up. Let's talk about Sweetie Candy Vigilante, #1 of Volume 2, #1 from Dynamite. Um, from Dynamite Comics, and I'm gonna have to go into the book to tell you who this is. So let's. Whew. I absolutely love the colors on this book. This is Suzanne Cafario, Thiago Vale, Antonio, Fabella, DC Hopkins, and John Cafario. Yeah, so in this cover, Jeff Zernow, and the character created by Suzanne Cafaro, they really go in and they give you all this information involving the people that worked on this book, and I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. You end up having to sit there and talk about the credits a little bit more. The color and the brightness on this campy little piece of fun is just absolutely vibrant and beautiful. And it is, like I said, very campy, campy horror fun. Sweetie Candy Vigilante is just continuing the story where it was before. And if you're wondering what that was, please go ahead and check out my review on the volume 1 of Sweetie Candy Vigilante. That's nestled back on my channel somewhere. Um, it's mostly the art and the vibrance of the art that had me coming, and that is kind of just cute, campy horror, and yeah, not bad at all. Action Comics number 1062 from DC Comics. We got Aaron, Timms, and Locust. Um, so this is actually my boyfriend loves this cover because he has a fond love for Bizarro. As you guys know, his nickname is Bizarro Fett. And so yeah. Um, the thing about this one is Action Comics is going to this whole like Superman Superstars format back to being one story per issue, which is just fine by me. That's just fine by me. And what they're doing is they're doing these shorter, it seems, little arcs. And this is the continuation of the arc that started in the last issue, where um, Bizarro has gotten a hold of magic and has started turning everyone in the world into bizarro versions of themselves. Um, and it's really interesting. Superman is trying to fight it off himself and ends up heading to Gotham to get help from the most unlikely of sources. This is actually an improvement on the first part of this, in my opinion. Um, so I'm glad. I'm glad I gave it a second chance. We have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver going over to Marvel number 1. And this is, I believe, Steve Orlando. And I got to go into this to get the names. I think I think no matter what, if this a variant cover, okay, and it's one of the trade dress variants, go ahead and put the authors' names on the front of the book. Come on, man. Come on, Marvel. Um, but anyway, let's go into this. We got Steve Orlando, Lorenzo Tometa, and Frank William, and VC's Ariana Mayer. So this is kind of a continuation of the Steve Orlando story that I absolutely fell in love with, Scarlet Witch, that did 10 issues, just ended a couple months ago. And I knew that this was going to be the continuation of that series. And we start out kind of with a bang here. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver working together. Then they get a message from their adopted father. Scarlet Witch takes a look at it and destroys it. And obviously, Quicksilver has definite opinions about that being destroyed before he's able to look at it. So that's basically the gist of the beginning of the story here. And I absolutely love the way Steve Orlando writes Scarlet Witch, and the way he makes Scarlet Witch look like like harkening back to Campbell's hero's journey type of situation. And I very much love that. I love that, using that as a device here in doing the plot of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And it's started in Scarlet Witch by Steve Orlando, and it's continuing in this so far, and I like it. Next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Blade, number 8, Hill, Casagrande, and Diaz. Um, Telling a really solid tale about Blade trying to stop the end of the universe because he accidentally helped a demon get free and start wreaking havoc. Now he's got to go to hell, quite literally, and he's trying to negotiate his entry into hell with this issue. Um, so much. I mean, it's a solid. We've been asking for a long time for a Blade comic. We got the Blade one shot involving him visiting Dracula, the country Dracula, and then we're like, well, what's going on? We got Bloodline, who I just found out Bloodline is going to be showing back up again in the Marvel Summer Blood Sport, I think it's called. Um, so that's good. Um, but we've been begging for a Blade book, a decent Blade book, and telling a good story, and we got it. So, right on. I'm gonna take a nice little drink of water. We got one more book to talk about, I believe, before we get into the top three. Moving right along here. I realize I've been saying kind of more than two sentences, but I've been trying to reach a point where I'm kind of like going bang, 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 like going through them pretty quickly just to kind of keep you guys, keep it going. But we're going to talk about Creep Show, Joe Hill's Wolverine Station #1. It is a special. Obviously, it's by Joe Hill, Jason Sierra Miller, and Kiara Miller or Michael Walsh. Okay, so this is by Image Skybound, as Creepshow is. Um, uh, honestly, I feel like in a longer format, with a little bit more time to build the story, this might have been a little bit better than it was. I feel like this was rushed, and I feel like it just assumed I was going to be freaked out, and I wasn't at all. At all. Not even in the like happy-go-lucky way. Just wasn't. It just I feel like this needed more room to breathe, and I feel like Joe Hill comes from a place of knowing how to tell a story, and I think this was a little bit rushed. It had the potential to be a really good story, and I just found myself disappointed in it. And the thing is what's really funny about it is it's a thick boy. Like you can't really tell on camera, but it's a thick boy, and just didn't work out for me. Mm-hmm. Just didn't. Okay, guys, so we have gotten to my top 3 comics of this week, and these are going to be in no particular order. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Transformers #5 from Image Comics. Everybody is talking about this one. This is on everybody's top comics of the week every month because I think a lot of us just like that big nostalgia bomb that's been happening lately. We got Transformers and all the other Energon universe comics over at Image, Skybound Image. And you've got this, you've got like the GI Joe Larry Hama coming over to Image as well, which is outside of that universe, but still big nostalgia, part of the big nostalgia bomb that's happening in Image. And the thing is like the big nostalgia bomb is like happening pretty much wherever right now. Nostalgia is big right now, and I don't know why people haven't. It feels like people aren't pinpointing it as enough as they should. Nostalgia is very big right now, and with that in mind, nostalgia being so big, this is probably why everyone is sitting there like Transformers is great, Duke is great, Cobra Commander is great. We got Cobra Commander coming out next week. We've got G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, coming out next week by Larry Hama. And then over at Dynamite, we've got all the Disney books. We've got the Thundercats book. We've got Space Ghost. We heard is coming. Darkwing Duck. Okay. I mean, I fell off Darkwing Duck because I just, I was getting too many books, but like that was actually a pretty gosh darn good book. Um, that was a lot of fun. Darkwing Duck was. So then you've got Transformers done by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer, and it is just big, big, bombastic, mechanical fun, and I'm here for it. Um, we have the entry of some of the most interesting things. Let me tell you something. Like some of these toys when we were kids were like so expensive. And like every month my boyfriend is coming to me like, "Man, I really wanted that one," or "I really wanted that one," or "I really wanted that one is because this and this and it's so cool and I never got it." Um we're adults now. Maybe I should start buying us Transformers. Um oh, he's going to love that if he heard me say that. But the artwork on this is so much fun, reminiscent of very big manga action type format, and it's just this is not your typical Transformers. It's pretty. It's this is special. It very. Come on, guys. This is issue number 5, and it has been on everyone's top of their list ever since it started. Um, and the Transformers, the Autobots just can't seem to get a break, and it's making for really interesting storytelling with taking what is there in the mythos of Transformers and taking that and not only just building upon it, but actually taking it and actually doing somebody else's own version of what we got before. So it's not just a carbon copy of what we had before, which is really good. Putting your own spin on something. It's like taking a song that's like in one genre of music, right? And then turning around and making it like a whole different genre, but redoing the song. Kind of like with Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Like when they do something like Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and it's going from being Elton John or Elton John and George Michael to being, um, you know, skater punk, right? So it's kind of like, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like doing something like Transformers before was pop music, right? And now we have Transformers, the the 90s hip hop version. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to put it, but you kind of get the idea. Let's talk about Batman number 143, Joker Year One Part Two. Now, this is Zdarsky, Kamakuli, Sorrentino, Nessie, Sanchez, and Stewart. Um, this is another one where the first part of the story was kind of lackluster for me. And now this one is much better. Much better. Um, Giving us, and it does still do the back and forth in time period, but um, honestly, this time with the change in art, and I cannot recall if that happened in the first issue, but the change in artist, I think it did, and it's just I didn't catch on to it last time. That was my problem. I didn't catch on to it the first time, but I definitely caught on this time. So, um, when you have like two different time periods, and I like the fact that they do, since I caught on to it this time, I'm going to talk about how I liked it. I like the difference in art, um, kind of presenting that breakage between what happened in the past and what happens in the future. Um, we're obviously in one of those circumstances where we have a story that is kind of just being a prelude to what's supposed to be happening next in Batman. Um, and I thought it was really interesting and really nice how they're doing it. It's a little bit of an interlude from what we were doing before, and eventually, come next month, we're going to be going back to it. I'm assuming because this is only supposed to be 3 parts. Um, but yeah, and can I just say, Sorrentino's art is just absolutely gorgeous. There's this moment, creepy. There's this moment, and what's really interesting about Sorrentino's art is that you can do something like he does in Tenement, right? Where it's fantasy, like fantastical realism, right? And and it looks really real, but in one of those kind of like um outside the realm of realism reels, right? So then I don't know if anyone's getting what I'm putting down here, but like kind of outside the realm of realism but realistic. Okay? And then you put that artist on this book doing the future setting, and there's these moments where it looks like it's a freaking photograph. Okay, it is that realistic, that hyper realism. It looks like a freaking photograph. How does somebody do art like this? Like, how is it that somebody sits down and creates art like this? How? How? There's this moment where like the Joker's like coming up out of the water and like you only see like top part of his face and head. And it's just like, holy shit shingles, man. Like that moment, like that imagery in that part of that book was just absolutely creepy and beautiful at the same time. It was, woo, that is lovely. That is lovely. I can't even stress enough that imagery that Andrea Sorrentino is doing in this book, in those future moments, is absolutely lovely. There's a moment where it's the future, and one, I have to appreciate the fact that he feels that Selena Kyle doesn't dye her hair in the future, and she just has this beautiful, like, beautiful white, why am I yawning? Beautiful white hair. And it's just, oh, it's gorgeous. His drawing of Selena Kyle, oh my God, absolutely beautiful. And let me tell you, there are 2 writers right now that can just write the shit out of anything involving Selena Kyle and Batman together. And that right now, that's Romvi and Chip Zdarsky. It just that moment, where it was really kind of beautiful before it went all haywire. Um, just keeping it real. And I'm really appreciating the fact that, why am I yawning? I'm not even tired. Okay, so I really appreciate in the past tense items with the writing that you can see elements of what's happening in the police department and what have you, that tie in and not necessarily tie in, but tie in to what other writers have done in the past involving year one type action, involving uh, the 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 corrupt the corruption in the GCPD. Very nice, very nice. Um, and I have to say, I absolutely love the fact that we're getting this little interlude, right? And it kind of applies to what's happening in the main storyline, right? But we're getting this little interlude, and it's just business as fucking usual with Batman. Like, Batman, it's Batman 142, 143, and 144. Like, business is fucking usual. Now, we do have obviously, Batman has legacy numbers, but they're not putting them on the cover. Um, yeah, they're not putting them on the cover. So, oh well. Um, it's just it's just an interlude, and then they're not like, let me just call it a different thing and put a number one on it. No, it's just you wanna read about the Joker year one. Well, then you pick up number 142, 143, and 144. There you go. Congratulations. Um, I I love that because it's what they did with the year one stuff, back in the day with Frank Miller and all that. It's what they did. It was an issue of Batman, but it was like a little interlude, and I like that. Thank you very much, DC Comics. Woo! It's come on. We don't need a new number one. They didn't do that. I'm very happy, and I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, and I'm gonna be like, I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Okay, guys, let's close out the day with my last pick. This is Christian Ward's Batman City of Madness, Book 3, The Conclusion to City of Madness. Christian Ward, art and story done by him. Let me see if I can get you any more um, creators off of this. I absolutely love the beauty of some of these books, these bigger books. Let's see. Okay, so the letters are by Hassan Otsmane Alejo. We saw them earlier today with Deviant. The cover artist Christian Ward, of course, and they've got some variants that they have out there. But this is the final straw in this story from the Batman Below, and gives you a little bit of background of what fuels the Batman Below, what causes the Batman Below, especially now that the Batman and Talon have gone down below to meet up with it to stop it, because it started coming to the surface. Really cool cosmic horror type situation here. The cosmicness of the art is absolutely beautiful. I love the use of dark colors with some swirly neon cosmic value to it, making it all look like a Lovecraftian nightmare. So cool. Definitely liked it very much. Um, I love the conclusion. I have to wonder if Christian Ward is a Joker movie fan. In particular, I'm speaking of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, because of the whole Arthur thing and the ending image of the book. And one has to wonder if um, there's not another arc of this. I know that this is supposed to be the end of this story, but one has to wonder if there's not a part two, possibly, sitting in Christian Ward's brain right now, the way he ended this book. That it's one of those things where, like, in the publishing industry, when you're going, you're querying to agents and or editors at book publishers, that you have to write them, you have to tell them, you have to present what your book, information about your book, what it's about, and all that. And one of the things that you have to present is, that it's good to do is you let them know exactly kind of what your plans are for the storyline. If it's a standalone, or if it's a standalone with series potential, or if it is part of a plan where you plan to do so many stories, your plan involves so many books, you know. So one has to wonder, with the way Christian Ward ended this, is if he has something up his sleeve. Like, this is standalone but series potential. This is a standalone but with series potential. And that is what you're seeing in the end of Batman City of Madness, is a standalone with series potential. Series potential. Sometimes I don't enunciate enough. But that's it, guys. That's all I read this week. Had a couple that didn't come through, like Vampirella 666. I'm still waiting on. So that's probably something that hopefully I can get more on board with next issue, and I can get that read, and both of those up to date on those, and read those and tell you what I thought of them. But other than that, guys, that's about it. I am done with this edition of the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. So go ahead and be sure to check out the description about our giveaway. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things, and let people know about my reviews. See if we can get more people, because we can't do the giveaway until we reach 250 subscribers. This is just how it is. I'm not going to give away these things until we reach 250 subscribers, and believe me, it's the same. It's just, that's just how it is. Okay, so we need to get the word out there, and let people know that I exist, that I'm here, and all that jazz. Anyways, thanks for being here with me, for checking out my video. I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope that you enjoyed it. This has been the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. This is the officially unofficial geek channel. And until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. Remember, the complacent never make a difference. So please go out there and make a difference. Until next time, I'll be seeing ya. Bye-bye.